Hello there!
In order to talk about voltage, let me first talk about work, energy, and power. Energy is a pretty broad term. Now, what has energy? We can say that's something that has to do with motion, or anything that has to do with position. Those that are due to position is called potential energy. That is, the potential to do work. We'll see that a voltage source, such as a battery, supplies energy to perform work on a bunch of charges. Matter has energy contained within its bonds, and you'll see that in physics that light has energy as well as sound. So what is energy? Energy is the ability to do work. So let's take a closer look at work. Work is simply force times distance. So anything that you can apply force over a given distance is said to supply energy. We measure energy in terms of joules. So let's look at this example. Say I have a water balloon weighing about 5 newtons given by this circle at a given height of, say, 5 meters. Here the water balloon has a potential energy to do work as shown. And I drop the balloon. And as you can see, the balloon breaks up, supplying energy to move this gear or wheel. And the water spreads apart as well. In this case, I perform 25 joules of work. 5 newtons times 5 meters equals 25 joules of work. As I drop the balloon from a higher height, I can do more work, causing the gear to move relatively faster. Water particles spreads even more. As I have a bigger balloon and I drop it at the same height, and you'll see that I can do even more work. Now, taking a heavier balloon to a higher height requires more work on my part. Now, height is a relative term. I need a reference point called ground in order to measure height. And you'll see that voltage has a similar type of requirement where you need a reference point called ground. So let's get back to this example. You can get to a certain height either by stairs, escalator, or ladder. It just doesn't matter. Let's say I have an escalator doing work in carrying me without me walking. There's a certain amount of work performed by the escalator to go from one floor to another. As I walk and start getting up the escalator, I'm doing an additional amount of work to get up to the higher floor, but I get there even faster. Now, if I start running up the escalator, I'm doing the same amount of work, but I get there even faster as well. Hence, we need another term to describe how fast we're doing an amount of work, and that is called power. Now, power has units of work per unit time, or joules per second, or simply watts. As a side note, here at the States, we measure in terms of horsepower, especially for automobiles. And we note that 1 horsepower equals 746 watts of power.